Hi, this is Junior Oganyemi, inspirational speaker and author of How to Be a Student Entrepreneur. I'm here doing this brief interview with quite a remarkable and amazing woman by the name of Karlene Rickard. How are you doing, Karlene?
I'm very well, thank you.
Now, Carlene's written a very, very inspiring book, and it's yet to be published. It's called Living with MS, right?
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. And you've the reason you're so remarkable is because you've not only do you have a whole wealth of wisdom that we're going to be tapping into in this short interview, but you've overcome many obstacles. Now, could you tell people about MS for those that don't actually know what the condition is?
It's an autoimmune disease, a disease whereby your own immune system start to attack your nervous system, eating away the covering on your nervous system called the myelin sheath. And that affect the messages going from any part of your body to your brain. So it could be from your bladder, so it doesn't say when you need to go to the toilet, it could be going from something under your feet cutting you. It doesn't say that you've been stabbed or cut, and that's the situation with MS.
Wow, wow. Now, it's is there a cure for it at the moment?
They say no, but there are various tablets and treatments, and people have gone through various journeys, as I have, to ensure that you can still live a fairly healthy life.
Excellent. Now, you've been living with MS for almost 31 years now, right?
Yes, 31 years, nearly 32, in fact.
Okay. Please describe to us how it was when you first discovered it, and what's your
When
journey been like?
I started in an odd sort of way because I started totally paralyzed. But for most people, it's progressive. It comes on stiffness and limited mobility and limitation in certain organs, etc. And it just progressed and progressed. But I actually started totally paralyzed,
Wow, that must have been a
and they
shock.
could just the doctors just were baffled and they didn't know. And the MRI scan showed that I had I've got MS. After lots of other tests, it was assured and it was verified that it was definitely MS.
Mm. But
And I went really for medication. I went into the sun because most MS people can't deal with the sun, but the sun for me works. Warmth works. I changed my diet into vegetarian. I cut out meat. I eat a small amount of fish. Exercise, massage, reflexology, and a whole range of alternatives. Because the first bit of medication, the side effect seemed so grave, and I just didn't want added complication with what I was actually going through.
mm, so you've actually discovered techniques and strategies that work and help you
Yes.
live
Yes.
a more able life. Because right now you're actually you're walking now and you're moving. Um,
I am. I had recovered quite well from the total paralysis and I was doing very well. But I went through a certain trauma after that, and that put me underground. And when it did, I actually reverted to all the things that I'd noted down that I was doing before. And I'm on the up. And, I just thank God for that. I treat the body in its tripartite system, the soul, the spirit, and the body, and I ensure that each part has an input. Make sure my spiritual needs are met, the soulish realm with your intellect, your will, and your emotions, and obviously the physical. And all of them are different, but they must work together.
and that's played a huge contributing factor to your progression and your development now.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can say it's worked for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for everyone, but I'm also a bereavement counselor. And one doesn't really tell people what they're supposed to do in counseling, as you know. But in counseling, I, kind of help the client to work through and to suggest certain things in a roundabout way. And I've just seen clients just perk up and changes.
Mm.
And that wasn't color determine, you know, different colors that I've worked with, because I work in a hospital as a bereavement counselor.
Wow. So for you to be a bereavement counselor, it's well, it's obvious that this thing hasn't sort of consumed your life and stopped you from living and stopped you from dreaming and hoping. What message or what advice could you give to anybody out there who's either suffering with MS or has some sort of condition that they it seems to hold them back? Because I know it could be an excuse for many people, but this doesn't
Yeah,
seem like a barrier for you at all.
just not to give up, because it's really is a shock when it comes on. And the number of people who want to commit suicide, as I'm in the Caribbean at the moment, and I've given a talk, and there was a great interest, and some of the people's eyes were popped open, because they just didn't think that, once this thing come over, they wouldn't be able to cope with it. But in this book, I try to encourage people not to give up and to try various things. And one of the important things is have sensitive people around you and to talk to you, and because all you want to feel is to feel normal again.
Mm.
And there's persons around who will counsel and talk to you and encourage you, and then try various things and make the diet work for you. It has to be a tailor-made diet for you.
Excellent. So have loving connections around you and treat your body right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you must feel a sense of independence.
Yeah.
That you are willing to try and you're doing the best you can do.
It's quite remarkable because you've done so much over the past couple of decades, and it's almost like this condition is always just in the background basically. It's not on the forefront of your mind, and it certainly doesn't hold you back at all. So that's very, very inspiring and encouraging for those that don't have an illness as well, because it's almost like, right, what's our excuse? Especially if you're young and you're able, life can change suddenly, and you're a perfect example of that. But just because the circumstances changes doesn't mean that your goals, your vision, your ambition has to die or change.
No, you shouldn't give up. Whereas there's life, there's hope.
That's it. This has been very, very, very inspiring and very encouraging. Just to wrap up, could you please tell us a bit more about your book, and what do people expect to find?
It's a very small A5 size book, and it gives a little background of the different kinds of MS, and mainly within that is an A to Z of the journey that I have taken over the years in actually be able to make life livable. Like, for instance, A for having appreciation, but also having air. Air is very important. Breathing in properly. C in terms of counseling is important, that you get some form of counseling. Remember I said about the body, the spirit and the soul. So you're looking at, for instance, counseling is about your emotions, and it just goes from A to Z how I have dealt with this condition over the years, and I'm using it now and it is so exciting to say, gosh, this is working for me and it's bringing me through again. But I'm looking for a publisher, to take it, because I've heard of so many people who want to commit suicide after they discover this condition, and I wanted to go as far afield as possible. And MS seems to be on the increase.
I think any publishers listening and should really actually snap this opportunity up, because it sounds like a very, very remarkable book that's going to make so many waves in people's lives and actually transform people's lives. It sounds very, very inspirational, not just for those living with MS, but actually those with any sort of chronic illness or temporary illness, even, just to give them hope and give them a way and options. So it's well done to you. And thank you so much for your commitment to the cause and your commitment to actually living life with hope. And we'll pray for even more strength for you and continued progression and development. That. It's my pleasure. Right, thank you, Karlene. Pleasure speaking to you, and have a wonderful time in the sun. I know you're in the sun at the moment.
No, I know. It's a medicine. It's one of my medicines.
It's the best medicine. It's too cold over here in England. Anyway, take care, Karlene. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Junior.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.